Been working with a little cardboard. So they do give you in the instructions or kind of in the packet of paper, you know, like some templates for these closeout panels, but I really find it easiest just to cut as much as you need to and then figure out the panel that you need, you know, and then use some cardboard or, you know, some stiff like, you know, like cereal box paper or something like that, and then make the template that you need. So I will be filling it in down here as well with a strip of metal. So you close it out here. As you can see underneath here, this is a pretty significant part of the frame rail. I do need to weld it here, close that up, and then the closeout panel will kind of just cover all this up and reinforce it and bring the strength back. So I'm gonna get this cut out of some metal, cut out of some steel, and we should be good to go. I did make a little patch for down here, it came out pretty good. And I'll catch up with you guys once I freaking have this in steel. Been getting to doing a little bit of welding in here. So connected this area up here to the floor pan, and also reconnected this area to the frame. And right now what I'm gonna do is cut a slot in this you know, piece, this filler piece that goes in there, so I can tie it in to that part of kind of the frame rail cross section there, because otherwise I'd just be tying into the floor here, and I think this is really kind of the structural member. And then I'll be making a little piece that fills in this gap that'll be made here, and it should be nice and strong, which is always good. Got it pretty well boxed in, so you can see I added that on the bottom. So I am going to grind this a little bit on the front, you know, smooth it out to make sure that it kind of aligns with this straight line that I have going. And then what I'm going to do is start working on this, you know, boxing the frame back in and making sure that I have enough. I think I need to grind a little bit, you know, making sure I have enough clearance for that mini tub so we get as much space as we can. So this came out really nice. It is, I think it's a good call to try and tie it into the heavier metal in there, so definitely looking good. And I'm gonna get this ground and then move on to getting this frame boxed, and you know, I'll show you guys once I'm done with that. Been going full speed ahead on this thing, so you know, been cleaning up all the edges in here, so you can see I got all the old spot welds basically ground down all in here. So a tool that I really like to use to get some of these ones that are more localized is this tool, you know, a little die grinder with a you know, a rotary file on there, and then also this tool for sure, just a die grinder with the disc on it. You know, you want to smooth all these welds down so you have a nice surface to weld to when you get there. And I also broke apart you know, this tail panel and have been smoothing this down. I did make a little oopsies couple here, so I'll probably make a little patch for those areas. And next thing I need to work on, or I'm going to cut, you know, this basically the drip rail off, smooth these down, and also push this panel up so I can start fitting up that quarter panel. And also got this frame rail notched, looks really good. So I should be able to get that mini tub in here and clamp it all together and see how all the sheet metal fits together. So I'm gonna get to work on that, probably fix that area back there, and you know, fix kind of where I need to, and then start clamping everything in there and hoping for the best. I'll probably, for this first video, I'll just get that mini tub pasted in here, or tacked in here, and then probably close it out and make a round 2 where I actually get the quarter panel on there. Making super good progress on this quarter panel. So this side, it definitely fits a lot better, and I think part of the reason is because I didn't just send it on the inner wheel well, the mini tub and that outer wheelhouse, so I have some flexibility to kind of move it around. I kind of set it preemptively on the other side and it kind of screwed me over. So just working it in here, definitely have to make a few cuts. I kind of got to cut it right here to bring it up a little bit so it can go down. So working out all those angles and hoping to get this mini tub completed, and then we'll be on our way. Then I can put that outer wheelhouse on, trunk drop off, and the little trunk extension, then get it all painted, and then secure that quarter panel on here. So I'm going to keep working on this, and then once I'm happy with the quarter panel fitment, start welding that wheelhouse in there, inner wheelhouse, mini tub, and then once I get it all fitted up, I'll see you guys then. So I got this quarter on here, everything fits really nice. I definitely worked it a lot more than the other side. Kind of know what to do now. So, got it tucked up in nice here, and I have the wheelhouse in there, inner wheelhouse and outer wheelhouse, to mock it up before I start welding that mini tub in there. And everything looks to be okay. I do have a lot of flexibility to move it fore and aft for that trunk lid, so no worries there. And door gap, I'll show you guys in a little clip, looks pretty much perfect, so good on that. So I'm gonna tack this in here, and then I'll take all the metal off and show you guys what it looks like. All right, so I am beat, but we got the frickin' mini tub in here, looks really good. So I got all my welds that I could do without, the outer wheelhouse. Can't weld it to the car yet, or to the car up here, but I got it welded on the inside, and all those spot welds completed, and some nice welds in here, kind of on the inner part of the mini tub. So hope you guys have enjoyed this video. You can see I got all these welds completed, and then I still got to make that piece that fills there. But I hope you enjoy this video. Definitely a lot of work getting these mini tubs in. So, they give you that template, or 2 inches. I think that's BS. I think it's a lot more, that it pushes it inward. So that's something to keep in mind. And probably tomorrow, or maybe another time, I'm a little burnt out on this thing, but I'll be getting that outer wheelhouse on. I fitted everything up, fits really nice. And all the metal comes together really good. Wheelhouse comes down to here. Outer wheelhouse looks really good. And same, I've made some more modifications than I did on the other side for that quarter panel. So I just got to make sure it fits to the trunk, fits to the door really good. So excited about that. And once I get all this inner sheet metal on, like the other side, I'll epoxy it and paint it black. So thanks for watching, and hope this is informational. Feel free to ask questions in the comments if you're doing a similar job, and have a great day. Getting after it on this fine day. So working on getting this outer wheelhouse on here. So been doing a lot more, test fitting with the quarter panel on this side. I'm still working on getting it to fit to this trunk drop off, or the trunk extension, but it doesn't look bad. I did notice that the gap, you know, it's a little unfortunate. I think the gap's a little large on this side for the trunk, but I was able to push it over and get around 3/16, which is recommended. So this side I'll probably push in a little bit, and if I do need to notch these bolts a little more, no big deal. So yeah, I'm grinding on this. I want to get this welded in here, and obviously trunk drop off and extension on there, and then I need to paint this inner structure. So one thing I am doing, you know, before I get this on here is getting, you know, the piece that remounts the, you know, trunk hinge bracket to the wheelhouse. So working on that, and I'm getting that welded in there. And once I get this outer wheelhouse, you know, kind of welded on and all the other metal on there, I'll tag up with you guys and we'll go over the next steps. All right, so I got the wheelhouse all welded in there. Looks really good. Definitely always fun to buzz that stuff in there. So one thing I've been working on is trying to get this tail light to fit, and it seems to fit pretty good to the quarter panel. You know, I got to bring this out a little bit on the bottom. That's kind of why I broke it loose. So I'm trying to get everything else fitted up, all the inner sheet metal, you know, that trunk drop off and the extension, get those completed. And then I can paint it all with the epoxy seam seal, you know, where it's hard to get to, and then paint the inside with the black, and then finally put that quarter panel on here. So one thing I am going to work on is, you know, this is really, it was same on the other side. It has like a lot of, you know, tension where it sits on the rocker here. So my plan is to cut the rocker actually and push it down so it doesn't have this tension, because when I do that as well, it kind of makes this gap a lot larger, and it also kind of buckles it outward. So learning from the other side, I didn't make it perfect on the other side, and I probably should have done that, but you know, it's not going to really affect anything. Just was, I couldn't do the rosette welds that well. So I'm going to do that. I'll cut it and then get it to fit real nice, and then I'll show you guys how it looks and, you know, how that helped. So that might be something you face with these aftermarket panels. You know, they don't always fit perfect. So we can see everything lining up really good here. Kind of modified that a little bit. And same with this trunk drop off, lines up really good. So, you know, got it all basically self-tapping, screwed, held in there. So I'm gonna take this quarter panel off. This gap is a little large, but I can work it in once I can use this flange down here. You know, there's kind of a flange that holds it. So I'll be able to tighten that gap up and get everything to fit really good. So definitely excited. This also fits really nicely. I think the door's a little bent at the bottom because it does have a little misfire down there, but race car. So I'm gonna take all this stuff off and I'll time lapse welding it in there. Hope you all enjoyed that time lapse. So definitely a lot of welding to get this in. I like to do the plug welds and then do some beads up top. So got all the holes filled, and also took the initiative to use the spot welder down here and down here, you know, where this comes down and where the wheelhouse connects to the drop off. So if you're doing what I'm doing and you know, don't have any inner wheelhouses left, basically mine was all rotten. Usually you'd leave that piece of the inner wheelhouse that would connect to this drop off, but like the other side, I'm just gonna make a little plate that basically fills this area and goes right here. So pretty simple little fabrication project, but I'm gonna use the template that I had from the other side and build that, you know, out of some steel. So I'm gonna get fabbing on that, and then, you know, weld that in there. And we're running out of welding gas, so should be perfect, have just enough. And one thing I'll recommend, you know, over and over, is to use self-tappers and lots of clamps to test fit everything. You know, I probably took this quarter panel off, I don't know, maybe 30, 40 times now, just fitting everything up, because, you know, once you weld it, especially something like that wheelhouse, it's basically set where it's at, so you want to make sure it's right. Got the frickin' patch made, so it definitely came out good. You know, a trick you can do here is kind of clamping it in there and then just pounding it to shape. Since no one's gonna see it, doesn't have to be the prettiest thing. So also, you know, paper template always comes in handy. So I'm gonna get that guy right in there, you know, to close out that gap. And then we should be out of welding gas. And I just have one more patch after that before I can get to painting. And that'd be this patch that kind of fills in. I did get this patch in here, came out pretty much perfect. So you can see the, you know, template that I made. And then, you know, lots of fitting, and then a little bit of work in the vise to get it to fit correctly. So main thing, I think I'm going to cut the video off here, but main thing when you're doing this is to make sure, you know, that everything fits, especially that quarter panel when you're putting it on here. And, you know, take your time and play around with it until you're confident that everything's in the right place, because once it's welded in there, it can come out, but it's really a pain. So, you know, definitely came out good, making super headway on the old Nova. Thank you guys for watching, getting some new gas. So I got all the welding done that I need to on the inner parts, so I gotta sand it all up here, you know, do some rust treatment, and then paint it, and then, you know, put that quarter panel on there, and that's gonna be a big milestone. Both quarters are gonna be on there, gonna be really nice. So then I'll be sending doors, fenders, and trunk lid off to get blasted, and probably start tackling getting this thing down to bare metal. We'll see what I want to do next, but thank you guys so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll catch you in the next one. Hey, thanks for stopping in to the Bluebird Enterprises YouTube channel. If you like what you saw, give me a big thumbs up, and hopefully you're leaving with a bigger smile than you came in with.